When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending. You are creating. You are assuming a state of peace so powerful that the outer world must eventually bend to reflect it. You are not denying the storm. You are simply refusing to let it enter your inner sanctuary. The world around you is only the mirror of your inner reactions. And the moment you decide to stop reacting, the reflection begins to change. When you act unmoved by doubt, by fear, by insult, you are telling life that you trust your power more than appearances. Every circumstance, every person, every word that once disturbed you loses strength the moment you withdraw your emotional permission. You begin to realize that nothing has power over you unless you grant it through attention. Your calm indifference is not weakness, it is mastery. To act as if nothing bothers you is to live from the end, from the feeling of already being whole, complete, and secure. You no longer chase validation or fight conditions. You assume the inner poise of one who already has what they desire. This assumption, though invisible at first, rearranges the outer world in quiet precision. The universe listens to your inner silence more than your spoken words. The one who is unbothered holds the key to transformation. They do not argue with reality, they select a new one. They do not explain or defend, they remain still, knowing that unseen forces are aligning in their favor. Acting as if nothing bothers you means you have chosen faith over fear, creation over reaction. So, when challenges arise, do not fight them. Observe them as shadows passing by. Let them dissolve in the light of your calm certainty. Keep your inner world undisturbed, and you will watch how effortlessly the outer world shifts to match your peace. To act as if nothing bothers you is not indifference. It is the deepest form of understanding. It is knowing that the outer world is shaped by the inner one, and that the moment you let external events dictate your inner state, you give away the power that was always yours. Every reaction is a seed. When you respond in anger, fear, or frustration, you plant the same in your own consciousness, and the harvest comes back multiplied. But when you remain calm, unmoved, quietly confident, you plant peace. And peace must return to you in the form of circumstances that reflect it. The mind loves to be disturbed. It feeds on conflict. It craves drama. It looks for something to resist. Yet your true self, the quiet awareness beneath all thought, is never touched by any of it. That still center within you has never been afraid, never been offended, never been hurt. It simply observes. The art of acting as if nothing bothers you is returning again and again to that awareness, to the place inside where nothing has ever gone wrong. You begin to live from the inner witness, not the reacting mind. You may find at first that people misunderstand this state. They will say you have become distant, detached, emotionless. But that is not true. You are more alive than ever, only you no longer spill your energy into meaningless resistance. You begin to value your peace more than your opinions. You begin to care less about proving and more about being. When you no longer react to small things, life starts to flow differently. The same situations that once tested your patience will now dissolve without effort. You will notice how quickly arguments fade when you refuse to feed them, how easily chaos quiets when you choose stillness. There is a secret rhythm in life that reveals itself to those who stop fighting. It is the rhythm of allowance, the flow of trust. Acting as if nothing bothers you is an invitation to that rhythm. You are not closing your eyes to reality. You are opening your heart to a higher one. You no longer waste time trying to control appearances. You allow them to come and go, while holding the inner conviction that all things are working for your good. That conviction, silent and steady, begins to recreate your world. You will notice that your energy shifts. When you no longer get pulled into emotional turbulence, you begin to move with quiet strength. Your presence changes. People feel something different in you, a stability that cannot be shaken. You don't need to speak about it. It speaks through your silence, through your composure. You start to understand that power is calm. Noise is always the sign of weakness. Calmness is the signature of true power. There will still be moments that test you. Someone may insult you, a plan may fail, something unexpected may happen. The instinct to react will rise like a wave, but you learn to let the wave pass. You remember that every outer situation is temporary, but the state you occupy within is eternal. You tell yourself quietly, I will not give this situation my energy. And in that moment of refusal, you choose creation over chaos. You anchor yourself in the feeling of peace, even when the outer world gives you no reason to feel it. That is true mastery, feeling what you wish to feel before you see any evidence of it. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are communicating with life in a different language. You are no longer begging or pleading. You are declaring through your composure that you already have what you need. You are saying, I am not waiting for conditions to change. I am the change. Life must respond to that energy because it mirrors your inner world. Whatever you hold within consistently, the outer world will faithfully reproduce. People often confuse emotional control with suppression, but suppression is resistance. Suppression says, I shouldn't feel this. Mastery says, I allow this feeling to pass through me, but I will not live in it. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not pretending you don't feel. It is knowing you are more than what you feel. Feelings come and go, but you remain. You are the awareness in which they arise, not the feeling itself. Every day offers countless chances to practice. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you breathe. You don't take the bait. A delay occurs, and you smile. You remind yourself that time bends to a calm mind. You hear criticism, and instead of defending, you listen, knowing that no one's opinion can alter your truth. You lose something, but you refuse to see it as loss. You see it as space being made for something new. Each act of non-reaction strengthens the foundation of your peace. Soon you find that it's no longer an effort. You are simply at ease. Your mind will try to tempt you into reaction by whispering that if you don't respond, you'll lose control. But that's the illusion. Reaction is not control, it's bondage. True control is the ability to remain still when the mind demands movement. True strength is smiling when everything tries to make you frown. When you act unbothered, you are not ignoring life, you are mastering it. You become the conductor of your own symphony, rather than the instrument played by others. There is magic in indifference, not the cold indifference of apathy, but the sacred indifference of trust. It says, whatever happens, I remain centered. It is an energy of faith. You stop trying to fix the reflection and start changing the cause. You no longer wrestle with appearances, because you understand that all outer things are the shadow of your inner state. So you keep your inner state pure, light, peaceful. You make peace your home, not a temporary guest. Every person you meet, every situation that challenges you, is an invitation to stay in that home. When someone provokes you, you smile inwardly, knowing they are helping you practice mastery. They are showing you where you still react. You thank them silently, because they reveal the edges of your peace. You begin to see life not as a battle but as a mirror. You stop being the victim of emotions and become the author of your vibration. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you become unpredictable to the world. You no longer play by its rules of reaction and drama. People don't know how to control you anymore because their power depended on your response. They will try to provoke you at first, but your calmness confuses their chaos. Eventually, they stop trying because they can't find the emotional handle to pull. That is freedom, not caring because you are numb, but because you have transcended the level where things can disturb you. Your peace becomes magnetic. Opportunities begin to flow. Relationships become smoother. Health improves because your energy is coherent. The universe loves coherence. It moves easily through a calm mind, but struggles through a turbulent one. The less you resist, the more life works for you. You will notice synchronicities, perfect timings, effortless outcomes, all signs that you have stopped fighting the flow. To act unbothered is to live in the knowing that every event serves you. Even the unpleasant ones are stepping stones. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin saying, "This too is part of my unfolding." You begin to move through life like water, soft yet unstoppable. Obstacles no longer intimidate you because you know that peace always finds a way around them. You no longer seek control through force. You hold power through grace. There's a kind of elegance that comes from inner stillness. You move slower. You speak with intention. You listen more deeply. You are not in a rush because you trust that nothing truly meant for you can pass you by. This quiet confidence draws everything toward you. You realize that attraction is not about effort. It is about vibration. When your vibration is calm and complete, you naturally attract experiences that reflect that completeness. Some may call it detachment, but it is deeper than that. It is union with what is. You are no longer separate from life, trying to manage it. You are flowing with it, shaping it gently through your assumptions. Acting as if nothing bothers you is an act of faith in the unseen order. You no longer need to manipulate circumstances because you have found the center where everything already aligns. This state of being cannot be faked. It comes from practice, daily quiet patient practice. You learn to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to think before judging. You train your mind to serve your peace, not sabotage it. Slowly, the storms that once shook you now pass like distant weather. You begin to notice that even in chaos, something within you remains still. That stillness becomes your anchor, your home, your unshakable identity. In that stillness, desires manifest effortlessly. Because when you stop doubting, stop reacting, and simply hold the feeling of already being fulfilled, life mirrors that back. The outer world bends to the inner certainty of your peace. That's the great paradox. The moment you stop trying to fix everything, everything begins to fix itself. Your calmness becomes your prayer. Your silence becomes your command. You no longer plead for better days. You assume they are already here. You act as if you already possess everything you desire, and that feeling becomes your reality. Not through words, not through struggle, but through silent knowing. The most powerful state you can occupy is quiet confidence, the assurance that all is well, no matter how it appears. There will be days when your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns of worry or doubt. In those moments, smile at the thought. Do not fight it, simply observe. Remind yourself that the mind is only echoing old beliefs. Let them echo and fade. Your job is not to silence the noise, but to refuse to identify with it. Keep your attention on peace, and the noise will lose power. When nothing bothers you, you become invincible, not because the world changes instantly, but because you stop being its victim. You realize that your reaction was always the only thing that hurt you. The situation itself was neutral. It was your interpretation that created suffering. Once you master interpretation, life becomes light. You can walk through the same world, the same challenges, but you remain untouched, serene, and powerful. Every great transformation begins with inner non-reaction. The moment you stop feeding the problem with emotional attention, it begins to dissolve. This is how you outgrow limitations. Not by fighting them, but by outgrowing the vibration that sustains them. Acting as if nothing bothers you is the gentle way of saying, I have moved beyond this level of energy. In time, this way of being becomes your natural state. You no longer wake up chasing peace. You are peace. You no longer hope for good news. You expect it quietly. You no longer defend your worth. You live from it. That is the hidden power of acting as if nothing bothers you. It trains life to treat you as you treat yourself. If you are unbothered, life brings you reasons to remain that way. If you are constantly disturbed, life mirrors that too. You will discover that serenity is contagious. Those around you begin to soften in your presence. Your calmness becomes a refuge for others, a silent reminder that they too can be free. And in helping them through your example, you elevate not only yourself, but the energy of every space you enter. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not withdrawal. It is mastery in motion. It is standing in the eye of the storm, smiling because you know the storm will pass. It is trusting that beneath every appearance of chaos lies divine order. It is living from the inside out, not the outside in. When you embody this truth, your life becomes simple, graceful, radiant, a mirror of the unshakable peace within you. You have always had this power. You were simply taught to look outside for control when it was always inside. Now, you remember. You remember that to act unbothered is to align with truth. You remember that silence is strength and stillness is creation. You remember that your reaction shapes your reality. And so you choose peace again and again and again until peace becomes the only language you speak. To live as though nothing bothers you is to walk in the quiet authority of someone who knows that everything happening is simply movement within consciousness. You are not the movement. You are the stillness behind it. The world may rise and fall, people may come and go, success may bloom or fade, yet you remain untouched, aware, whole. When you reach this understanding, life becomes beautifully simple. The noise of the world loses its grip on you because you no longer mistake the noise for truth. This way of being doesn't mean you suppress emotions or pretend not to care. It means you care deeply, but without attachment. You can love without clinging, give without needing, act without fearing the result. You understand that what is truly yours can never be lost, and what leaves was never truly yours to begin with. You stop chasing security in external things and start finding it in your own consciousness. That is the essence of freedom, to stand so firm in yourself that the winds of circumstance cannot move you. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not arrogance, it is serenity. It is the refusal to let fear or irritation dictate your behavior. When someone insults you, you do not shrink, nor do you retaliate. You simply see their words as sound passing through air, with no meaning except the one you give it. You become an observer of life rather than its prisoner. Every reaction you withhold becomes a doorway to deeper peace. Every time you stay silent when the world expects noise, your power multiplies. There is something magnetic about a person who remains calm under pressure. It's as if the universe itself protects those who refuse to be shaken. Opportunities seem to find them. People respect them without understanding why. It is because calm energy communicates certainty, and certainty attracts. The one who acts unbothered declares through their stillness, I already know how this will end. Life listens to that tone. The unseen forces rearrange themselves to match your conviction. The more you practice this, the more you realize that everything is perception. The situation itself is neutral. Your interpretation gives it charge. You can call it a problem and feel powerless, or call it an opportunity and feel inspired. Both are true, yet only one serves you. So you begin to choose your interpretations with care. You start to see challenges as teachers, delays as redirections, endings as beginnings. This is not positive thinking. It's conscious creation. You are reclaiming your authorship of experience. When you stop being bothered, you stop leaking energy. Every reaction, every complaint, every defense drains you. But when you stay composed, you conserve that energy, and energy conserved becomes creative power. You can then direct that power toward what you truly want, instead of wasting it on what you don't. Imagine how unstoppable you become when no situation can disturb your peace. You are no longer driven by impulse or fear. You act from awareness, from choice. There will be times when your calmness will be tested again and again. You may feel like you are standing in the middle of chaos, while everything tries to provoke a reaction. Those are sacred moments. They are not punishments, they are confirmations. Life is checking whether your peace is conditional or unconditional. If you can remain centered when the outer world trembles, you have mastered the lesson. You have proven that your state is self created, not dependent on circumstances. Many believe that to act as if nothing bothers you is to withdraw from life, but the truth is the opposite. You begin to participate more fully because you are no longer afraid. You can speak your truth without fear of rejection, love without fear of loss, try without fear of failure. You do not need outcomes to define you. You are already defined within. This inner wholeness allows you to play the game of life with lightness. You can win or lose and still smile because your joy no longer depends on results. It comes from being aligned with yourself. There's a subtle beauty in this way of living. You notice how much peace there is in letting things be. You stop analyzing every word, stop overthinking every action, stop needing to control every outcome. You begin to trust the intelligence that runs through all things. You start to feel guided, supported, carried by something larger than your personal will. Acting unbothered is a statement of faith. Faith that life knows what it's doing even when you don't. This doesn't mean you stop caring about improvement or stop taking action. It means you take action from peace, not from panic. You act with clarity, not desperation. You make choices from alignment, not anxiety. When you do that, the quality of your actions changes. They carry power because they arise from stillness. The world responds differently to that energy. Where once you had to push, things now seem to flow toward you. The mind will resist this practice at first. It will whisper. If you don't react, you'll be taken advantage of. If you don't worry, you'll lose control. But you'll come to see that worry never controlled anything. Fear never prevented failure. It only created it sooner. The true control lies in your ability to remain stable when the world is unstable. The moment you stop reacting, you gain influence over reality. The outer must follow the inner. It is a universal law. Every master, every enlightened being has known this truth: reaction binds, detachment frees. The more you react, the deeper you get entangled in illusion. The less you react, the more clearly you see. When nothing disturbs you, you begin to perceive life from a higher level. You see patterns where others see problems. You feel compassion where others feel anger. You understand that everyone is doing the best they can from their level of awareness. And so, you forgive more easily, not for their sake, but for your own peace. Forgiveness becomes effortless when you no longer need to hold on to stories. You realize that resentment is reaction stretched over time. It's the mind replaying an old wound because it wants to feel in control of what happened. But when you act unbothered, you release that need. You trust that every experience, pleasant or painful, has brought you closer to truth. You bless the past for shaping you and let it go. You refuse to let old emotions occupy the present moment. Even your relationship with time changes. You stop rushing because you understand that time expands in proportion to your calmness. When you are anxious, hours vanish in tension. When you are peaceful, time slows down and you move through the day with grace. You realize that being unbothered is not laziness, it's efficiency. You do more by doing less because your energy is not scattered. You move with intention, not reaction. Your words begin to carry weight. People listen when you speak because they can feel the calm behind your tone. You no longer speak to impress, you speak to express. And even when you say little, your silence communicates confidence. You understand that silence often says more than any argument could. You learn to let your energy speak for you. In this state, even your desires evolve. You no longer chase from lack, you create from fullness. You don't seek things to complete you, you express your completeness through them. You desire as an artist desires to paint, not as a beggar desires to eat. This is the difference between forced manifestation and effortless manifestation. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are telling life, I already have everything I need. And life, eager to match that feeling, brings you more of what you already feel. You start to understand that emotional neutrality is the bridge between intention and manifestation. When you can want something deeply but remain calm, whether it comes or not, you align with the flow of creation. Desire is not the problem, attachment is. When you release the need, you create space for fulfillment. The calm mind is the fertile ground where everything grows. As you practice this, you'll notice that old triggers begin to dissolve. The things that once disturbed you no longer hold charge. Someone may try to provoke you, and you feel nothing. Not because you've become numb, but because you no longer vibrate at that frequency. You've outgrown it. That's how growth happens, not by fighting the old, but by becoming too aligned with peace for chaos to find you. You also begin to attract different experiences. Life will bring you people and opportunities that match your new calmness. You'll notice synchronicities, small miracles, effortless resolutions. You'll realize that outer harmony is simply inner peace reflected. The world rearranges itself around the energy you maintain. It's a beautiful paradox. When you stop caring whether things go your way, they start to. When you stop chasing love, it finds you. When you stop worrying about money, abundance flows. When you stop seeking approval, respect comes naturally. Because all those things were never outside, They were energetic reflections of your inner state. Acting as if nothing bothers you means you have chosen sovereignty over dependency. You have decided that nothing outside you has the right to dictate your inner weather. The storm may come, but you decide whether to get wet. The world may shout, but you decide whether to listen. The more you practice this, the more peaceful your world becomes. Not because the world changes, but because you do. There will always be moments that tempt you to forget. Something unexpected will happen, and the old habit of reaction will rise again. That's okay. Every moment is another chance to practice. Every test is a teacher. You will fail sometimes. You'll react, you'll get upset, you'll lose your balance. But each time you notice it and return to peace, your foundation grows stronger. Eventually, peace becomes your default state. And what a life that is! To wake up without dread, to move without fear, to love without anxiety. To know that no matter what unfolds, you will remain unshaken. You become like the sky, untouched by the weather passing through it. Joy may come like sunshine, sorrow like rain, but you stay vast, open, aware. You are not the weather, you are the sky. When nothing bothers you, you stop searching for meaning and start living it. Every moment becomes sacred because you are fully present. You taste life as it is, not as the mind wants it to be. You realize that peace was never something to achieve. It was what remained when you stopped resisting what is. Act as if nothing bothers you, and soon nothing will. Not because the world has changed, but because you have remembered who you are. The still awareness behind it all, untouched, eternal, and infinitely free. And so, when you choose to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not pretending to be strong. You are remembering that you already are. You are declaring to life that no circumstance, no opinion, no outcome has the power to shake the truth of who you are. Peace is not found in a quiet world, it is found in a quiet mind. The moment you decide that your inner calm is worth more than any reaction, you rise above the chaos and become the master of your reality. So walk with that quiet confidence. Let the world do what it will, and let your spirit remain still, because the one who stays unbothered is not avoiding life. They are shaping it. They have discovered the secret. When nothing can disturb your inner world, everything in the outer world begins to move in your favor. Stay calm, stay certain, and watch the universe rearrange itself around your peace.